Well, hello and welcome and hello. This is Total Spotfest Wrestling Podcast. I am JJ. To my right is Jamie. Right below us is Mr. Austin Reddick. Hello and welcome and hello. We do appreciate you guys coming in, joining us this Wednesday Eve. How are you boys doing today?
L-I-V-I-N. Right. Just living.
Yeah, so today is my day off, so we have closed Sundays and we have one day off during the week. I chose Wednesday for obvious reasons. Hello, wrestling world. But also, being that it's getting near that time of year, I had to really go in and face the DMV today, boys, get my license renewed. Oh. I was only there for 2 hours. I consider that a win.
Such a long time.
Dude, Jamie's got a DMV by him. See, up in Missouri, they're all like independently sourced out, right? So they're not run by the state, right?
Yeah.
So the DMV Jamie has by him, I should just freaking drove down to that one seriously, because I would have been in and out in 10 minutes.
I think the longest I've ever sat in that one is 20 minutes ever, and that was when I was waiting to renew my license, not even to like tag a car, which that line's always the longest.
Yeah. See, mine was in and out. Mine was, and I was only there for 2 hours because they had internet problems. And because of that, like a bunch of people left. And I'm like, I'm going to stick around.
All right.
And yeah, so we hope your guys' day has been fantastic. We do appreciate you joining us. For all those who are watching us live, please join us in the comments section. And if it's your first time here, hello. There's a button down below. You can hit to subscribe. You hit the little icon, the little bell icon. You can know when we go live. So, spoiler: it's every Wednesday.
And every Wednesday,
around the same time.
Give or take, more or less.
It kind of all hinges on AEW, doesn't it? Just a little bit. I mean, they've been running late like all the time lately, so there's that.
I like that there is just a permanent overrun, and you never know exactly when Dynamite's going to end.
I mean, you kind of do. Like, I always feel like it's like it's old school Monday Night Raw, 10-10. You know, like, or it's 9-10 now. It's like 10-10.
Hey,
it's going to be 10-10.
It's been pushed to 15 before. It's been like 6 after before. It fluctuates a bit. It just lets the main event breathe a little bit, so you don't know hard stop when you're getting out of it.
Yeah, I am so split because I like them giving the time for the main event when they need to. Right, that's good. I utterly loathe the we got an overrun tonight. Like it's stop.
Yeah. We know. You don't have to tell us. And I want to know who that's for. Who's sitting there watching Dynamite and is like, well, this match is clearly going on and they haven't stopped the show. but it is 9:00 Central Time. It's supposed to be over. I guess I'll just change the channel now. Like, is that disclaimer really necessary?
My point
you maybe just want to make a poll about it. I'll just make a poll. Let's see what the peeps say. Do you like yes or no? Tell us why. That'd be even better. Tell us
why.
And you could do it obviously in chat here. If you're listening to us later, you could do it on Twitter. You could also do it on Blue Sky. One of our good friends, one of our longtime listeners is on Blue Sky as well. And that is Heather. She is on there, so that's always a good thing to be. But you can do that, or hell, you can even go to our TikTok and leave them a comment on one of our amazing videos.
Yeah, I need to get the Blue Sky thing up here. It's just at Total Spotfest everywhere you go, guys. We're easy to find.
Wait, so Jamie, have you actually like delved into Blue Sky and like poked around in there?
I
have posted 15 times.
I've got all my to-do badges done, right? So I've done the likes, I've done the follow, yeah.
Is it active? Is it popping?
I honestly, like, I see a lot of double booking. So that's the one thing I noticed. Like, Effie's on there a lot. And then like there's a couple others that I just continually see. They'll post in Twitter and then they'll post over there. Like right now they kind of double book, but I will definitely say this. The discourse on the two is completely different.
Night and day. 100%.
Literally, it's like Call of Duty over here in Twitter. Like, the shit talking and toxicity of Call of Duty live chat. And then you have like
Legend of Zelda echoes of wisdom over here.
But you have like more like a fish concert. It's like, hey man, just love, man. Like, I don't know if you guys know Fish is, but
please,
I'm aware of them.
Please, Jamie.
Well, I'm talking about our listeners. Like, they're probably like,
okay, touche. Yes.
I would be surprised if there's anyone listening to us that hasn't at least heard of Fish.
Hey, if you've never heard of Fish.
Let's do another poll. We're gonna do a lot of polls.
One's in chat. One's in chat. If you've never heard of Fish, come on, guys.
Poll on poll match.
Poll on a poll match.
Just a telescopic poll.
I hate you guys so much. No, last thing, and then we're going to talk about wrestling. The last thing, the thing I like about Blue Sky is it's basically Twitter, sub noise, right? Like Jamie said, the discourse is different. No ads, no Elon Musk. So it's like Twitter from what? 10 years ago, basically.
Pretty much.
It's just pretty much what it is. So, okay. There you go.
That's fair. I might eventually give it a shot. I've been on the fence. I don't know if I need another social media.
I'm not going to lie. Will they make it? Who knows? Every other kind of Twitter.
It's been around, actually.
It's been around for a little bit. So there's hope on that. And, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I hope it does, because nothing's worse than having just a single option, So at least there's options. Speaking of options.
If it wasn't for pro wrestling, I would be down to 0 options. Except for Reddit. There's a lot of good stuff on Reddit, but that's kind of social media. I don't know if I really count that.
Dude, you can find some shady shit.
There are some rabbit holes on Reddit.
So good.
You want to read about conspiracy? Reddit's got you.
I mean, my Twitter is very straightforward, right? I got a handful of friends, some streamers, some this and that, but it's mostly just pro wrestling. Steelers, Blues, Mizzou. That's literally it. So, yeah, whatever.
Wrestling and horror movies. That's my normal Twitter. That's my normal Twitter.
Well, options are great. Just like options for local independent wrestling is great. Jamie, you ventured across the great state of Missouri this past Friday, and I'm interested to hear, not so much you. I know you had a great time, right?
Yeah, always do.
But I want to know how Megan and her beau, how they adapted to the world of GCW. Specifically, her significant other. Okay.
Yeah. So, the first thing we do when we get there, like I told him, like, you gotta get a wrestler, you gotta get a wrestling shirt. Let's go. Like, do you want to get just a GCW shirt? Or you want to get one from a wrestler? He's like, oh, I want to get one from a wrestler. I'm like, that's a good call. Like, support your local wrestler.
Okay.
So he's looking at shirts. Megan's looking at shirts, which is great, and they're all just kind of going through it. And he lands on none other than the one called Manders, and he gets one of his shirts. It's like, I like that. I want that shirt. I'm like, that's a great choice, because I was rocking my Manders shirt there too. And he goes, yeah, that's a great fucking shirt.
Do you think that might, Austin, just side discourse here, don't mind us, Jamie. Do you think that might have been the SMRT move by the guy? I mean,
it's like the Indiana Jones thing. You chose wisely.
Just saying, but girlfriend's dad, you get the same.
It may have been a test of sorts.
Yeah. Well, Megan ended up getting a Speedball Mike Bailey shirt before he starts selling his AEW merch. But yeah, so she got a shirt there. Masha was there, and Masha didn't come out afterwards because I was gonna go talk to Masha and try to get an autograph. She's like one of the few I don't have. So then, like, when I redo my wall of goodness of signatures, I can add her to the list. No, but that show was amazing. Miyu Yamasha, Mike Bailey lived up to my hype, which is hard to do knowing those two strikers. Gary J, Masha Slamovich too was exactly what you'd expect.
Was Gary nice and over? I mean, I know we're in St. Louis, but he was.
Oh, yeah, no.
Good.
And I mean, their ring announcer, I can't think of his name, it's escaping me.
Mel.
He called him Gary fucking J, and people just popped, and like we started Gary fucking J chant, and like it was a good time there. Manders was hated, not Mander, Mance Warner was hated.
Mance.
Oh dude, like it was fun. I will say that Megan's boyfriend, it was his first ever show ever, and I take him to GCW show. So like, I'm like, dude, there's all sorts of, I warned him, like, there's all sorts of walks of life here, which is great. Like, the diversity here is second to none. The smell is something that sometimes is not there. I'm like, that's wrestling fans in general, bro. Like, it's nothing.
Oh, you're
like,
there's gonna be smells. There's gonna be smells.
Yeah, it's my people. But he said he was fine with it until the very end when they did the death match for the championship. He was not too much into the death match. I'm like, it is kind of an acquired taste. Like, who
was the death match, by the way?
It was Mance Warner versus Ciclope.
Oh, Ciclope. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, and it was a great match. I enjoyed it. Like, we kept getting, because we're in the front row, we kept getting hit by fluorescent bulbs, like just all over us. I think he didn't really like that. He thought the blood was a little gratuitous. I'm like, yeah. I mean, that's a death match, but I think we have got ourselves a fan. He definitely wants to go again. I did pimp out HCW, and I did, of course, our good friends over at Fountain City. And once we see some more about Central States as well. So
cool.
Which I haven't seen much out of them lately. I thought we were going to see more.
Last I heard, they were coming back in December, but I've not heard any follow up since.
Yeah, I mean, they had that one post, December 14th is the date, right? Save the date sort of thing. Well, that's been it.
Yeah, because, I mean, we're less than a month out, so you would think there'd be some stuff popping off.
Yeah.
I mean, we're 3.5 weeks away from that. What's up, Big Rob? So, well, here's hoping we'll see something soon on that. But I'm glad you had a good time. I'm glad you guys had a good time. I'm sorry I couldn't make it. That was,
it was fun.
Yeah,
good time.
Yeah.
The drive home was great.
What do they think about the location?
Pops. I mean, they were fine with it. Like, I was like, and over here is a 24-hour strip club, and then over here,
23-hour strip club.
23 hours. Sorry, whatever. But like, yeah, I mean, it was good times. So I definitely think we have a new wrestling fan.
Good.
Hart, for sure. And he had a good time, and Megan, of course, had a great time. She got into some of the chants, and like, of course, people were right there. Like literally, like Manders like landed right beside us. I have a sweet picture of Miyu Yamashita laying on the ground, literally right in front of us. No blood this time on us, which I think by the sounds of it was a good thing, but good show.
Yes.
Yeah, blood probably shouldn't be getting on the fans in any case. Like,
it's okay.
We got a good amount of blood on us too, right? I still find it hilarious that we went to like the outlet village before to buy some shoes, and Jenny and I both bought a pair of white shoes, and we both were like, let's not put them on.
Yeah, because we have blood all over our shoes.
That's
cool.
That is fantastic. So I'm glad that you guys had a good time. I'm glad he enjoyed a good time there, and maybe he's a keeper. Who knows, right? He likes wrestling.
Yes.
That's another plus.
Maybe one day.
Oh, we're thinking. Oh, you really?
He might be able to vie for.
Ooh. Jamie, your audio just switched on us here, man.
Again?
Yeah.
No, you're good. You're back. You're back. It's like flashing. Like, I don't know. Don't move off screen. How about that?
Okay. Well, anyway,
let's do that again. One day he might be able to
vie for this beautiful Total Spotfest pay-per-view championship, which is being currently held by yours truly, the reigning, defending, undisputed champion of how many consecutive pay-per-views, gentlemen?
A couple. Who knows?
It'd be
counting. You know what I mean?
Three. It'd be three.
It's been a couple.
Three
now
consecutive. There is no championship greater. None.
All right. So I didn't meet this son of a bitch because I think the best thing, if he does end up coming in, what if he comes in on the J Money Club? Just say.
If he knows what's good for him, he wouldn't.
That's a good bit. That's a good bit right there, man. Comes in and just say.
It's a swerve, bro. Russo's
Come on.
In all the land.
You know, that's a very nice championship title. I don't know if it's the prettiest championship title.
Oh, snap!
You were looking at one half of the first ever HCW tag team champions.
That t-shirt was a plant, folks.
Yeah, and I don't just have the title. We also now have ACFC t-shirts. Hot off the presses, got them last week.
They're very nice.
Yeah, things are coming up for me and my man T2G. And I actually wanted to talk a little tag team wrestling tonight, but not just 2-on-2 tag team wrestling.
Ooh.
The long begotten era of our yearly 4-on-4 elimination style tag team wrestling.
I feel some knowledge from the champ coming on.
There is not only knowledge from the champ, it's giving season. So everyone's gonna get some knowledge from all of us because we're gonna do a little group activity for the stash of knowledge night. We, gentlemen, in the spirit of Survivor Series season, we are gonna draft our Survivor Series teams.
Ooh. Okay. You
gotta put your 4 together. Anyone listening and wants to chime in the comments or hit us up on Twitter, let us know whose team you like the best. We are going to do a draft style. I will go last since it's my idea. But once someone's been picked, they're off the board. Anyone's in play.
Question. You say anyone. So this is like of all time? Are we doing current? Are we doing classic? You know?
Ooh, all time?
All time.
Jesus.
Putting together a team of 4.
Okay.
We'll let JJ start since he is the only one not adorned with some gold right now.
I hate you both so much.
Yeah, we'll throw him a bone.
Where's your gold? I mean,
my gold is going to be coming this Saturday. This Saturday is my goddamn birthday. I'm winning my belt on my birthday. It's coming back home. It's coming to Daddy.
I don't know about that. I would look really good with 2 belts.
Oh, 2 belts, Reddick.
I'm going to end up doing the Ultimo Dragon thing where I've got like 2 arms full of belts.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and
collector.
start then, since you guys are being so kind. But okay, so we're gonna do Survivor Series. Now, the tricky thing is, are you just going for the best 4 persons that you can get? Are you going after a theme to make a team, right? Because that was kind of the old classic Survivor Series, right? You had themes going on. I am just going to... I'm going to play it a little safe with my first pick and just get the best wrestler in the world right now, Will Ospreay, off the board.
That's a solid pick.
It's never a bad idea to have Will Ospreay in a wrestling match. End of sentence.
Yeah. Never. I mean, he's about to lose his next one on Saturday, but we'll get into that. We get into Dynamite.
Yeah, we sure will.
But still,
put a nice pin there. Yeah.
Very solid first pick.
Am I next then, or are you?
You're next. You're next.
You're
this
next.
is Austin's idea is going last.
Okay. So, well, I think I had to do a quick little look up while you were talking. Shocker. There's one man who's undefeated in Survivor Series matches. Did you know that? One man.
I think okay. I think I have an idea, but yeah.
Yeah. That's my pick. Ooh, yeah.
Oh,
The Macho Man, Randy Savage, undefeated in Survivor Series matches.
I was gonna think.
Why wouldn't I go with the GOAT, the guy who doesn't lose?
I was gonna guess Undertaker undefeated, but okay.
That's all. I did not know he was the only one but
Wow.
I don't know how many Survivor Series matches he was actually in. I know he was in the first one because I watched that yesterday.
Yeah, he's in 3. Then the number 2 ranked guy in Survivor Series matches, he lost 1.
Jamie,
Bro, your mic just keeps cutting out. It would be funny if it only caught that.
Did it get? Can you hear me now?
Now we hear you. Yes.
Who was the number 2?
It has everything to do with my Discord, because my Discord is the thing that's doing the thing.
Okay.
That's fair.
I hate Discord.
All right, so JJ went Ospreay. Jamie went Macho Man.
Macho.
I'm thinking you got to send four guys into battle. You gotta at least have one big guy on the team. I might go 4 for 4 big guys. We'll see. I'm gonna go a little bit out of left field, but that left field is not a baseball field. It's a softball field, because I'm going with Psycho Sid.
Ooh.
I am so shocked that's your pick. All right. Beltless JJ, you're up.
HBK, go fuck yourself.
That's a go. That's a tough one to eliminate. He didn't need a lot of pins.
Because that's who I was going with next.
100% that's who you're going with. I'm surprised you go with him number 1. But, I was like, do I pull HBK? And Jamie's like, poke. Oh, here's HBK. Come on.
I mean, then do I go Ric Flair? No. I will not go Ric Flair.
This is a War Games. This is a War Games pick, yes. But we're talking about Survivor Series.
We're talking traditional Survivor Series.
I mean, Ric Flair didn't need a lot of pins either. He might be a good one to have on your team.
I mean, it's Ric Flair, for God's sake.
So, all right. If we're going with people who don't put people over and only just want to win, Hulk Hogan.
You say that he did get eliminated at the first Survivor Series.
He did. And then he probably went in the back and said, "That doesn't work for me, brother."
Oh no, it still ends with him clearing the ring and posing for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, just a little quick, a little dash of knowledge in the stash of knowledge. Ooh. If you haven't watched the first Survivor Series in a long time, real fun main event. it comes down to Bam Bam Bigelow on one side and then Andre the Giant. And I am blanking now at who the other two left is, but it's a really good one. Get some nice big man action at the end.
I love Bam Bam. So underrated.
Oh, Bam Bam Bigelow was so good. I would want to throw him out there as my next pick, but I've got the big man taken care of. Now I got to go with some technical wrestling ability, and I'm going with Kurt Angle.
Okay. Well, all right. So I got best wrestler alive right now. Probably the best wrestler that from, late 90s, early 2000s, right?
Or you can just say all time. It's fine.
Okay. Settle down, Jamie.
I'm not the only one.
I think that you see my pattern in which I'm going. And I'm going to go stay in that path. I'm going to stay in that lane. And I'm going to go Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm just going. It's all top, guys. Let's go. Fuck it.
Well, I raise you the professor of the PG era, the man, the myth that we all can't see, John Cena.
Cena's actually a really good pick.
Yeah, that's a really good pick.
That's a really good pick.
I got my big man. I got my technical mat-based wrestling ability. I need a high flyer. And if I'm going to get a high flyer, I'm going with the greatest of all time. Not that one. Jamie just did the Eddie Guerrero shimmy for anyone that's not on video right now. I'm going Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, I'll go Rey Mysterio.
I thought you were going to go Snuka. All right.
Snuka?
I don't know.
Murdered somebody. I don't know if
he had one high-flying move.
I mean, you making a team. You want to have a man that's willing to kill for you, right?
Dude,
boom.
No, Mysterio's the guy you want in Survivor Series because he always pops up out of nowhere, ducks 18 things, and feeds people into positions to take other finishers.
True.
He's a utility guy.
True. Well, I'm down. So if we're going along the formulas here, right? So I got best wrestler currently, best wrestler from, the Attitude Era. I have, or ever, right? Perhaps one of the most iconic wrestlers in all of WWE's history. But the formula is you usually need a big man in there somewhere, just like Austin said, right? So I gotta get some beef on my scales, and I think I'm gonna go with something that I teased at earlier. I'm gonna go Undertaker, specifically classic first gen Undertaker.
The one when he accepted and he's on Team USA and he had the American flag, dude. Everybody remember. I'm glad all of us remember that.
Yes. 1994 was such a good year for pro wrestling.
Oh.
So now I'm thinking of matchups. Okay, so I have not necessarily the best wrestler. I don't have a big man yet, guys. I got Mach, technically a high flyer. Technically, not really. And then Cena, of course. So I have to go big as well, right?
Yeah.
Who better to be my big man than arguably the sexiest big man of all time, big sexy Kevin Nash?
There you
I
go.
thought you were going to say Giant Gonzalez.
The great Khali.
Another real quick aside. I saw this floating around Twitter earlier. It was video from a USWA show in Memphis with a cage match where it's Bret Hart as a heel against Jerry Lawler as a face because they're in Memphis in the cage, and the finish is the Giant Gonzalez doing a run-in. That's a thing that happened. There's video evidence. It is on the internet. So go look at that if you can.
Giant
That's amazing.
Gonzalez. Holy
that might be the greatest thing I've heard today.
Dude, every once in a while you get one of those tweets where someone's like, the ending of this blew my mind, and it never lives up.
No.
The tweet was like, "You will never guess how this match ends." And it's a Giant Gonzalez run in. It was so good.
All right. So we got 2 teams complete. Austin, who's rounding off your 4?
I got my big man in Sid. I got my technical ability in Kurt Angle. I got my high flyer in Rey Mysterio. Now I need some grit. I need the guy that he's not going to make it to the end, but he's going to get himself disqualified, taking somebody else out on the other team. And I'm going with Terry Funk.
I knew you were going to go Terry Funk.
Leave the Funker off the team.
The moment you said that, I was like, it's Terry Funk.
Like, how can he not have Terry Funk? Yeah.
He is going to hit Hogan with the chair and take him out too. And he's going to sacrifice himself for the team. That's what you need. You need grit. You need sacrifice. That's how winning's done.
So to recap, we have like my team. I have Macho Man, who's undefeated, Hulk Hogan, who doesn't put anybody over, John Cena, who also didn't put many people over, and then Kevin Nash, who also didn't put people over. So I'm feeling pretty good about how my team will just make sure that no one else wins.
Here's the problem with your team. Halfway through the match, Macho Man's turning on Hogan.
This is like 80s. Like, this is when they were the mega powers. Mega powers.
I feel like there was like a 6 to 9 month little gap where they were friends, and everything outside of that has been hands on sight with Macho Man Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
You're not wrong. Yep. So that's what you got. I'm going for quality by far. Will Ospreay, Shawn Michaels, HBK, classic Undertaker, and
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Top team.
Solid team.
Top guys. Out.
I went less than I drafted for need, not best player available.
Yeah.
And I put together a solid squad. Got Psycho Sid, Kurt Angle, Rey Mysterio, and Terry Funk.
I mean, that Terry Funk is that wild card.
The X Factor, man.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of ones you can throw in there. You know, when you think about the classic Survivor Series, there are certain people you put in there that don't. I don't even know if they've really ever won any, but they're synonymous when you in your brain when you're thinking about the old school Survivor Series. I'm talking like Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig, right? I'm talking like Ted DiBiase, right? You know,
Rick Rude was in the first one, wasn't he?
Rick Rude. You even go you can go Doink the Clown. You know,
Jake Roberts was in the first one. I think Jake Roberts was in the first couple.
Big the Snake Roberts.
Yeah, that's back when they had like team names too, right?
It was such a cool gimmick. I wish they would bring that back, even if it wasn't for every year's Survivor Series. Do a throwback Survivor Series. You haven't done a traditional one in like 2 decades. Do a throwback where you name the teams, everything's an elimination match, and then your main event can be War Games.
War Games.
Perfect.
I mean, I'm in, but well, there is going to be a traditional. Well, I guess it's gonna be War Games. Team Rhea versus Team Liv.
Is that elimination though?
No, it's War Games.
Yeah,
it's War Games. Yeah, because they just made it into War Games now instead of an actual true Survivor Series.
You know what? If someone in WB is listening in the corporate office and wants to take just a suggestion from someone who isn't really a fan of your current product, but loves the back end of the company, decades and decades, watch it all the time. Can we have a pre-show 4-on-4 elimination match? Can we have a match on the pre-show and also make it a traditional, like it's a layup. It's free money. Like people tune in to see that. Just please. The season of giving, give us that.
I mean, you know, and to be blunt, you know, my thing with this way they do Survivor Series now. And, you know, yes, War Games was great. When they brought War Games back in the NXT, it was the best thing. And then for like, you know, several years. But having it every single year diminishes, in my opinion, the speciality of War Games, right? Yeah. I mean, back in the day, they brought out War Games. I'm talking like old WCW. I'm talking like Mid-South NWA, you know, right? Jim Crockett Productions, you know. They would bring out War Games when it was fucking necessary and only if it was necessary, right? You know, it wasn't on a schedule every year.
Yeah, but you also gotta remember, man, people nowadays they need this kind of stuff. Like we have attention spans that are measured in nanoseconds.
Here's the problem.
I get it.
Because you ran into the same issue with Hell in a Cell, Money in the Bank, Elimination Chamber. You just made it one night at the same time every year. You can still give us one of each of these matches every year. Just shuffle them up.
Yeah.
Make this, like, lead us there with a story, and then we're good. I wish they'd put Money in the Bank back at WrestleMania. Like, I thought it seemed special at a big WrestleMania moment to get that briefcase, and now until the next WrestleMania, you can cash in anytime. But Hell in a Cell, pull it out when it's needed. Elimination Chamber, every once in a while do one of those. I would like to see them do an Elimination Chamber for, like, mid-card titles. Every once in a while.
Like for the title too, not number one, like for the title.
Yeah, like just on a random pay-per-view, give us, instead of doing its own pay-per-view, give us a U.S. title Elimination Chamber match. Now you just got us more interested in something like people aren't really paying attention to anyway.
Yeah. And then the champion can lose it without eating the pin, so they don't look any weaker, and they could get moved up to being in the main picture. Like, you know, they're wanting to do with LA Knight.
Yeah, just shuffle the gimmick matches up. Because when they're at the same time every year, 6 weeks out, they're going to start forcing some stories just to get you there. And when was the last memorable Money in the Bank? I would say Hell in a Cell, but people thoroughly enjoyed Punk and Drew and Hell in a Cell.
Last memorable Money in the Bank was the COVID Money in the Bank, I would say. Or
on top of the building?
Yeah. And that was completely different. That was a cinematic match.
Exactly. Yeah. But that's why. Ever since then, it's just been...
But yeah, same thing with Elimination Chamber. Like, you might remember a spot or so, but the matches themselves have been boring for 15 years now.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the last great one was actually still when it was on WrestleMania. Like, even even before it became the Money in the Bank pay-per-view.
Oh, good one. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
The first, two were really good.
Oh, yeah, dude.
And then it just kind of got into that routine of, we've kind of done all the spots unless we have someone unique in the match this time that can do something we haven't seen before. Just shake them up. That's all I'm asking in this holiday season. I'm writing to Santa, telling him all I want in the world, above world peace, would be a traditional 4-on-4 Survivor Series elimination match on the pre-show Survivor Series.
Hey, which honestly, like, world peace would be really good right now. I don't know if you saw what's going on between Ukraine and Russia right now.
It's not looking.
Yeah. So world peace would go a long way. So
Mike's fucked up again.
Yeah, they're censoring you. They're silencing you for telling the truth. We'll have to get Jesse Ventura back on the show.
Yeah. See, you're the Jesse voice. I could do Jake the Snake. All right, I'm gonna put my belt down. Because now it's time for us to talk AEW.
Go home night.
I think we had a go home show tonight.
Yeah,
just a smidge, just a little bit of one.
A very, very go homey go home. Again, they've started to hit their stride. I mean, so here's the thing. And I'm gonna call it out now. Go homes are boring most of the time, but AEW for the past 6 have been really solid go homes, right?
Yep.
I feel like we went to a boring go home a little bit.
I feel the same way. I'm glad I'm not the only one there. Which is fine, but my big note I wrote down here is you're trying to sell me a go home for a show that I'm sold on anyway, right? Like, literally, the card's complete, and it's fantastic. There's nothing more to be said. Tonight didn't even need to happen. Whatever, I'd still be happy on Saturday. So,
yeah. I think that's what this go home was missing, is that one moment or segment that got you extra hype for something we're all going to buy and watch anyway.
Yeah.
But I feel like there wasn't that one big high spot that really made you feel like, man, I wish instead of Wednesday, I wish it was already Saturday. Like, I wish it was happening tomorrow. Still a solid episode of Dynamite, but not the best go home.
They've definitely done worse. So like I do want to call that out. Like
You're not wrong.
This is just a prototypical go home. I think that's probably the best way to put it, right?
Which isn't a bad thing. Which is totally fine. Totally fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just not what we had gotten for the past half a year, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I mean, hell, they opened it up with a really solid ass match.
Oh, I love this match.
I mean, you had the Don Callis family of Takeshita, Kyle Fletcher, Lance Archer, and Brian Cage going up against Ricochet, Powerhouse Hobbs, Will Ospreay, and Mark Davis. Big shout out Mark Davis because everybody gives him the big pop. This match went exactly as I thought it would. Don Callis' team would end up on top.
Yeah.
Yep. Slight dissension there with the whole Mark Davis angle for the inevitable turn that we know is coming for Mark Davis, right? We have now said Mark Davis more times than there's probably ever been said on a show ever. So there's that. But it was fun because look who you had in the match. Of course, it was good fun. And the last like 3 minutes were really freaking good. Not gonna lie, really.
The ending sequence was phenomenal.
Oh, so good.
Like, I almost want to take back my previous statement about there wasn't that one big moment that got you extra hype. To be fair, that last little bit got me extra hype for Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher.
There were some fun wrestling bits of tonight.
Yeah, there was good wrestling. Yeah, this match was exactly what you thought it would be, and expectations were high. Like this, I like when they call it an all-star 4-on-4, and you're like, that is kind of an all-star 4-on-4.
So
That's
my question is, I've started to become in the mindset that they should open with Fletcher and Ospreay just to set the tone of the show.
I'm good with that.
Or do you think that'd just be too hyped too quick?
Well, they like doing a big match to beginning, right? You know, they put the Bucks out there many a times, right, to open a show and do, you know. I don't have a problem with that. I think Ospreay opened one of the other pay-per-views recently, though. You know, so
yeah, it doesn't Ospreay and Pac open All Out.
Maybe that's what it was. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I knew it was something that happened recent. So I have no problem with that, Jamie, but I don't really. Here's the thing, especially with this card that we have for Full Gear, I don't care where any of the matches are. Like, I don't really see a down match.
I don't want to open. I think I have one that I don't want to open. That's
what was Mercedes match?
Yeah. It's gonna be a great match. It's gonna be a great match. It needs to be in the middle. Like I feel like don't burn your women because it's your only one main event women's match.
I don't think it needs to be in the middle. It needs to be like second.
Okay.
And this is the problem. I want to say the last pay-per-view, the women's match had the same problem. Is there is so much you have to follow, and I legitimately think Mercedes and Statlander is going to be a very good match.
Same.
But once you've seen Hangman and Jay White, once you've seen Fletcher and Ospreay, once you've
stupid, ridiculous 4-way tag team JJ's hard-on match.
Once you've seen all of that stuff, like a very good women's match is just going to pale in comparison. And that's not a knock on the women in the match. That's just, you don't get the same kind of crazy high spots that you get out of some of these other matchups. That once you've seen all of those, just a really good story wrestling match or a really well executed technical wrestling match, it's not going to do the same after seeing all of that. I think you put them second so the crowd's still hyped from the beginning of the show and whatever you opened with. And then they're not fighting an uphill battle. I'm trying to remember. It was one of the last few shows. The women's match was super deep in the show. And the crowd was a little bit burnt out. It took them a while to get them going into it.
Right.
I think that's why I put it earlier in the show. Because there's so much stuff you have to overcome later on.
I think, Jamie, I think that this, or I think you open singles. Either you do this or you do Lashley Swerve to open. One of those two, I think, would be the good opener.
That'd be a solid opener.
I think Lashley Swerve would be a good opener. Yeah, I could see Fletcher and Ospreay being deep in the show. Here's a fun question. how many matches on the show do y'all see being better than Fletcher versus Ospreay?
What rhymes with hero?
It's not going to be your main event because your title match is your main event. It's not going to be your semi-main, or shouldn't be, because you don't want to put that right before your main event. Looking at you, WrestleMania 25.
I think they can put it right back in the middle. I mean,
yeah, either that or you put that. It's the main event. You do the 4-way tag right before the main, and you do Fletcher versus Ospreay before that. So you get something completely different to break it up.
Yep.
That's how you book a wrestling show, gentlemen.
And to your point on the women's matches, we all can. I think we all agree. It's been a minute that Willow stat was absolutely amazing at All Out, right?
Yes.
Yes.
That was the second match.
There you go.
So
it's like we know what we're talking about almost. How about that, guys?
We're like, Austin knows what he's talking about.
Hey, it's collective we, goddammit.
It's something that's over time with the AEW pay-per-views. Typically, the later they put them in the show, the less of a crowd reaction there is.
Yeah.
And it's literally just because by that time you've seen so many like triple backflips and multiple destroyers and everything that. And the same reason MJF is first when he's not main eventing.
And there's also going to be a secondary women's segment scheduled for the show, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. But so I don't
there's definitely one scheduled now.
That's what you put after the Ospreay versus Fletcher match, actually.
I mean, perfect.
Mariah's celebration.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter how much awesome pro wrestling you just watched, who's not going to want to watch Mariah May and Mia Shirakawa out there?
Shake their tits on your TV screen. I mean, champagne celebration, yes.
Well, then we also will get a Toni Storm sighting as well.
Oh, no, she's retired. Didn't you see the news this morning?
She's done. She's walked away.
Yeah.
She's definitely never coming back, and not this weekend.
If you guys don't know what we're talking about, SB Nation had a exclusive interview with Toni Storm. They published this morning, where she's walking away from wrestling in AEW and all this in character the whole time, right? And I love the fact that at least a third of the article I read on SB Nation about it was regarding this Rhino. It was the decision whether she would want a rhinoceros-sized hamster or a hamster-sized rhinoceros. And she kept calling back to it throughout the whole... It's like, this is a... God bless you, Toni Storm. God bless you.
Yeah. And I don't think she's going to retire because she still hasn't had her match with Wendy Richter.
That's happening at the retirement home.
Better.
A great piece of work.
Well, anyway, so let's get through some of the main event promos, because there was
really quick before we move on from that opener.
Yeah,
I was just looking at the Full Gear card, just making sure I didn't miss anything.
Yeah,
I didn't realize Takeshita and Ricochet has not been announced,
which is insane.
Correct.
I could have swore they were doing that on the pay-per-view.
So did I.
They maybe are saving that. See, here's the weird thing. Part of me thinks that they want to save it for next week, right? Because he wants to have a big go, pre-Thanksgiving show. But they're also starting the Continental Classic next week. So I don't know.
It's really weird to me that outside of Fletcher and Ospreay, the other people in this 4-on-4 tag are not on the pay-per-view. I mean, we're definitely getting a pre-show something or other with most of these gentlemen, but
oh yeah.
Honestly, just run it back as a 3-on-3 without Fletcher and Ospreay.
There you go.
Well, they got 9 matches announced, and I would see like the Big Boom AJ whatever and QT on the pre-show. There's no way that's going to be on the
pre-show. That is on the pre-show.
It's
who the
0
fuck
hours,
is
so they only have 8.
Why is he a thing?
Yeah.
He's a big YouTuber, dude. Like,
do you know who
this should be our idol?
Oh, so
I have no idea. I know people try to people are educating me in a way that I should already understand what it is. And I'm like, I don't know who the fuck this is. Somebody just tell me who this is.
They're the Costco guys. That's all I know.
That doesn't help me. That doesn't help me at all. I don't know. What do you mean the Costco guys?
This is a really weird one too, because normally if there's someone like I'm not familiar with, I've at least like seen something about them on social media. Like if wrestling brings in a celebrity, I don't really know them, but I'm like, oh, I've heard of them. I don't know what a Costco guy is. I've never been in a Costco.
Boom, in the Rizzler, like whatever.
What does that mean?
These are words. These are words. Like, okay,
they're the Costco guys. So, like, Costco's involved somehow, but, like, do they go to Costco?
Is that like their channel?
Stuff and eat there.
That's like they have YouTube. Okay, all right. See, this is one of those weird, like, corners of, like, the internet that they pull from, and they just expect everybody to know. And I'm like, I have no fucking idea who this is.
I have spent a decade and a half bumping all over a wrestling ring to never even sniff a pay-per-view match. And this dipshit eats the Costco hot dog and all of a sudden he's a celebrity?
Dude.
I mean, that's a good.
I mean, a lot of people have been famous for eating some hot dogs, so you know.
Oh!
Hey, I'm looking at you, Kim Kardashian.
Anyway,
we're gonna get sued. Yeah, have the damn penny to my name. All right. So let's go ahead and move on. So main event, co-main event, whatever. The main event picture, the title picture, had a lot of promos. You had Moxley's promo with a orange Wheeler-Yuta, China Shafir, and a Swiss Superman and Claudio. Thought that was a nice little
Did you just
touch.
say Swiss talking?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he's the Swiss Superman.
No, I'm very familiar with this country. It's just okay.
You want to say Swedish?
Well, Sweden and Switzerland are two
I
different
know. I'm like he's Swiss talking. Like he's talking.
You're gonna get canceled like Carlito.
It's like seriously.
That's not cool.
German talking, okay.
Anyway, so you had that.
Speak American, goddammit.
So can we just talk about what's up with all these AEW wrestlers that are turning orange? Can we just talk about the orangeness that is going on in AEW?
Wheeler-Yuta did look colored differently than usual.
I love how much I love how much this like abuse of bronzer really gets under your skin. I can't express how much I love that, Jamie.
Like the fake baking has become very prevalent in pro wrestling.
True.
Like it just drives me nuts. Like whatever happened to the good old days of just, getting a tan and going out there and not throwing do the spray tan right before you go out and you're like look like a fucking Oompa Loompa. Like, come on, man. It just drives me nuts.
I can't remember if we brought this up on the show in the past or not, but do y'all remember when WWE first switched to HD cameras?
Yes.
And Shawn Michaels and Matt Hardy, like both their spray tans were just running really bad and it was in super high def.
Yes.
I unfortunately remember that.
I remember that. It was like staining their pants.
It was just like streaks coming down. It was so bad.
So we had Claudio yelling at Darby, and then Darby responds like, "Oh, I'm going to take you guys out one at a time. Starts with you." Blah blah blah. Like it was whatever. Then not right after that, but you had just a little bit after that. You had Orange Cassidy saying he's going to beat Wheeler-Yuta. Then he's going to beat Jon Moxley. Like I like how he just is very emphatic with how he says the names. It kind of cracks me up. So we have that set up for tonight, and we have it set up for Full Gear. We already know how this is going to go, but I do actually have thoughts, and I want to get to that in just a sec. Because we also had the Hurt Syndicate. Ooh, my bag. My bag.
Copyright infringement. My bag. Jamie is trying to get canceled. Oh my god.
They're getting ready to do an interview with Renee, and they get jumped by one Swerve Strickland.
Yep. Again, none of this it's like it's all typical go home show stuff. Fantastic, right? I don't care about any of it because it's like, yeah, it does. It adds zero.
I feel like
to
it got repetitive because like the
Yes.
running theme of the night was one person in the feud beats up the other person one last time for the pay-per-view. And it was that for like every match you have for Saturday. And yeah, it just all the same.
The only feud that add anything I feel for a scheduled match on Saturday was the Mercedes bit because there's a nice comedy element to it, right? With the whole Camille thing. Other than that, nothing added. Well, no, I got a secondary comedy thing I'll talk about here in a little bit, but it's not for a match that's happening at Full Gear though. But yeah, everything else is just sure, cool, right? You said that last week. Orange Cassidy's going to fight everybody by himself. Yeah, you had this exact same promo last week.
Yeah. And then we had yet another promo from an Orange wrestler right after this. You had Adam Cole. Again, looking straight like an Oompa Loompa. Then you had White as the Driven Snow, cool Kyle O'Reilly come out. But, gentlemen, like, I didn't quite get this.
I don't.
To be honest.
No. And they had an MJF promo later where they tried to tie it back to bring it back. I don't know what they're doing with this. Other than hopefully ending this and moving people on to other things, please.
Yeah, like, that's the problem. Because like if I don't know what they're doing with something, sometimes that's a good thing. It's like I don't know what they're doing, but I want to see what happens next. This is don't know, don't care.
Like I generally like them maybe running back the idea of Kyle and Cole feuding, right? That's at least got some interest to it, you know?
Yeah.
Something, right? Or having like an inner kind of just like this will they won't they fight tense thing between all of the Undisputed Kingdom, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, right? You know, it's like
but also like Kyle O'Reilly, you returned like 6 months ago and your whole deal was I'm doing everything on my own now. So like, why are you even like coming out and bothering with it? Like, aren't you doing your own thing? Why are you back to Adam and Roddy?
But do you care about this at all, Jamie? Do you care about this MJF angle at all?
No. I'm ready for us to move on. To be honest, that's where I'm at with this. Like, I know he's gone doing his movie thing, cool, but then like they're trying, like, you know, I don't know. And I am not a fan of face Adam Cole in the absolute slightest.
No,
face Adam Cole is boring as fuck.
Yep,
it's boring.
He's just so much better as a heel. Like. Yeah. And it's weird. You don't often see people that are that good as a heel that like you don't just enjoy them as a babyface. But I think the problem with Adam Cole as a babyface is he completely loses like the edge he has as a heel. Whereas if you take like an Eddie Guerrero, he's still going to cheat his ass off as a face. He's just going to be less of an asshole about it. Adam Cole, it's like anytime he's a babyface, he just seems like a sad little man. And I feel bad saying that because I like Adam Cole. Like, he seems like a pretty swell dude as well. But, like, he just seems so harmless as a babyface.
Well, he is. He is. And I'm not going to be a dead horse. There's no reason for him to be a babyface. There's no reason for any of this. And you can, hopefully, after Saturday, we can do something different. Do like this kind of inner family fighting, right? Which nobody's a heel, nobody's a babyface in that case, and you can have some depth from maybe all these guys, independent of Max or anybody else, right? Something, please.
They should just on Saturday, MJF should hit the ring, then Adam Cole should come out with a microphone and be like, you know what, guys. We had something cooking a year ago, and then I got hurt. So we're all just going to pretend like none of the stuff past that happened, and we're just going to start over right now. We're friends again, and then just like carry on.
Hey,
I almost like prefer that to what they've been doing recently.
So there is only one piece out of this. He's like that I'm gonna hook onto, and his like little parting shot at Adam Cole was he's more of an evil bastard than you, and it's like maybe that's the piece. Maybe that's the piece.
See?
Like I can show you I'm more evil. Like I'm hoping, like. You know me, I like everybody to be a heel, but this one just like he needs to be a heel. Like,
well, there are certain people who very definitively fit into that category, right?
Or maybe he sides with MJF as a heel, and they become like the heel version of themselves, of their little tag team.
I don't think they're going to go that route.
That'd be hilarious.
I think they could have got there. But they would have had that plan in mind all. I think if you did it now, like just everything.
There's no continuity. There's no continuity.
Like, we've already dealt with like none of this makes sense, and now it makes even less sense. Which again, like at this point, just do something.
I know that we're arguing for logic in pro wrestling. I hear you all yelling at us. I know, but come on.
You know what I'd like to see. Let's get past this MJF business. Give me Adam Cole, Roddy, and Kyle O'Reilly going after the trios titles.
Sure.
Oh.
Like that's an actual fun trios team.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Have them do that. Maybe that causes dissension with the kingdom, right? I think that you got 5 guys who are all very good wrestlers that have a shared history that's deep, right? You can do some stuff with them independent of everybody, right? Family drama is always like how many people watch the fucking Real Housewives of wherever the hell they are this year, right? You know? Because it's stupid, boring drama bullshit, right? Do that with them. Something like that, right?
I'd like to see the kingdom get away from them anyway.
I would too.
Like the kingdom need to be on their own. They're a very good tag team. 2 phenomenal workers in there. They're genuinely entertaining when they actually get to do things, but like they've just been henchmen for 18 months now. Let's give them a little run in the tag division. I just had a light bulb moment. Just had a flash of genius. You know what I would like to see next year? Around this season, this glorious time of the year. Give me a tag team Continental Cup.
Oh.
Okay.
That's such a great idea. I think you brought it up last year too.
That does not surprise me if he did.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if I did and don't remember it, but either way, like that just shows you it's evergreen. It'll always be a great idea.
So speaking of great ideas, having Chris Statlander and Akira Ishida wrestling on my TV screen, that's always a great idea.
Great idea. What do you think of this new, and I know we talked about last week, trying to pair up AEW's women's with, long-standing, established kind of roles from WWE, right? And Shida got brought up as being the, Natalia of AEW, right? But what do you think of Shida's kind of new persona, right?
Oh,
she's
ace?
not.
I love it.
The ace, yeah, but she's also not really heel, kind of in the middle there. Now she's going through like this yips thing with her thing, right? Giving her some depth. I like it a lot more than I thought I would, just because I feel like Shida's always been that kind of give her the belt to clear the board for like a month and then take it off her, right? Sort of, it feels like she's always got more short end of the stick is a lot of what I'm saying, right? She held the belt during the pandemic, right? Well, that sucked. Nobody saw her live, and then whenever she got the belt, it was for quick little turns here and there, right? But she's one of the founding kind of cornerstones of AEW's women's division, and I don't know. I like that there's depth to her character, even though we don't get to see it all the time.
Yeah, like I like the evolution of the character. She's not just the same Sheeta she's been the whole time. You gotta change up every once in a while, even when you're not full-time featured on TV and all that. But Sheeta is the kind of person you need on a roster where you can throw them out there with anybody. It'll always be good. Your crowd, they're over with your crowd no matter what. Like Sheeta will always be over just because she's Sheeta. She's kind of like your ultimate, like whatever you need, fill in piece of the roster, which I think is a good role for her. Like we've got some title reigns. There may be another one in the future at some point, but
probably
we know what we're getting with Sheeta, and it's always good.
So, gentlemen, I'm gonna tell you something that I've had.
Let's go.
Start over.
I knew it. I saw it flash, and I knew.
Yeah, you're gonna do something. You're gonna do something.
Yeah. I caught it. So I'm gonna tell you guys something that I've had in my wallet for years. Like, and I've used this analogy in other ways, and I'm just going to use it in the wrestling world. Wrestlers are like cars. Okay? Now, go with me here. There are the low end, just piece of crap cars, right? You know, the Marty Skruls, you know, just whatever. Then you have the high end, really, really like super flashy, and it's like, oh my god, that's absolutely amazing, but they are incredibly expensive to maintain. You know, Triple H's first name comes to my mind. You know, somebody like that. You know, somebody like that. Hikaru Shida is a Honda Accord, and let me explain what I mean by that. I'm not making that in the slightest thing in any way, shape, or form. What's one thing you know about Hondas? They're super reliable, right? They will run forever, and you could always go where you need to go in a Honda Accord, right? Is it the sexiest car out there? Is it the most flashy? No. Is it still a good looking car and it does everything you need to do? Absolutely. The thing is, he's got to do a couple oil changes, do a little maintenance every now and again, and that thing's just always going, always going. You're going to get a million miles out of that damn thing because it's steady Eddie. And it will always get you everywhere you need to go, and it doesn't break down. Hikaru Shida.
Hikaru Shida. She's on Car and Driver 10 Best this year, guys.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know enough about cars to like think of a different analogy in the car realm, but
no, that's pretty much it.
The only thing is, like, I think Honda Accord, like, very reliable, but I still think like kind of towards the lower tier. Like, I feel like she's a little bit above that.
Like an Acura, like it's the same thing, just a little bit nicer.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, I would say something like that, like an Acura. Like, if you see someone driving an Acura, you're like, I mean, they're probably not broke.
Yeah, that's fair.
Not that there's anything wrong with driving a cheap ass whatever gets you around. I'm not class shaming anybody. My first car was a Toyota Avalon, and I went from that to a Ford Focus. So
there you go. 85 Trans Am with blown motor. That was my very first car. I had to rebuild the motor.
89 Cavalier, 89 Chevrolet Cavalier Coupe. I rode that effort till it died. Literally on my way to work one day.
Yeah, so I just thought he's got to think about it too, like Mercedes Moné. What would you call her? Lamborghini, maybe?
I wouldn't go Lamborghini. I would go maybe like a Corvette, right? You know,
super flashy,
not quite to the Lamborghini like level, right?
I'm going with the on the nose one. I would say she's a Mercedes, like
perfect. Yeah,
a little more show than go.
Yep.
She's the AMG version, the one that is all handcrafted and everything that breaks down more than it's running.
See, that's like if someone tells you like, "Oh, I drive Mercedes," like that's nice, but I don't really give a shit. Like cool.
To be fair, AMGs are literally handcrafted. They're not meant to be driven for like 3,000 miles in a year, right? You know,
but they're super high maintenance, and they are
ridiculously high maintenance. Yes.
The idea of owning a vehicle you're not supposed to drive like 3,000 miles in a year is just bewildering to me.
It doesn't make sense, right?
And Darby Allin is a 1989 Suzuki Sidekick.
That is absolutely perfect.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I know you're gonna love that, Jamie. You can't kill it. No matter what you do to it, you can't kill it. You can drive that thing through a forest and it'll still come out and keep going afterwards. It's the most ridiculous car ever.
John Moxley's fucking Bigfoot. Just big, imposing, and just run over shit. All right. So anyway, so this match was great. Obviously, Stat won with her Wednesday Night Fever. Love that. You know, she always calls it that. She was also a little orange, but I think it had a lot to do with what she was wearing. It kind of made her oranged out a little bit. Again, with the spray tan. Sorry, I'm just being critical. But
this really gets under his skin, guys. You don't like you're getting part of it. He really hates this.
Yeah. So after that, you had Mercedes Moné come out, and of course she had her sidekick, no longer known as the female Diesel, is Doink the Clown, and
she sends her to go finish the job. She sends one arm Camille, which again, I love, and I know Austin, you're with me on this here, like the kind of what they're doing with Camille here. I love this. Absolutely. Jamie, have you turned a leaf on this at all? I know you had your heart broken with the whole Sheasel thing going out the window. Have you turned on this? Because this is good stuff for Camille, really.
You know, she's pulling it off very well. So that's the thing.
Okay,
she's pulling it off.
Hard to see the light.
I have to like it.
Diesel is never going to work, man.
It should have. Actually, Megan Bayne would have probably been a much better choice.
If you're gonna do that, she has to like beat everybody.
She should have been.
You've got too much talent in that women's division to just have one of them just rampaging over everybody.
One of them who's literally just a bodyguard.
Yeah.
Positioned currently as just a bodyguard. Yeah. Hey. When that turn happens, it's going to be fantastic. I'm telling you, they're setting her up fantastically.
Yeah, it's going to be great. After that, we had a little bit more of the Hurt Syndicate chasing after Swerve. Then you had a video package of Jay Twitchblade White, all 36 and a half abs of his, looking for Leaves is Plants himself. Adam Hangman Page setting it up for their clash. Like, I'm glad they used a quick little video thing on this. Like, this was just enough as a little sweetener. Didn't need anything extra on this. Very well done. I'm committed to wanting to see this damn match. This could be a great opener too, actually, when I think about it.
I mean, there's no set direction they have to go. There's a lot of options they can do as far as card shuffling that's going to have the exact same result.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think this is a good opener, although they did open the last pay-per-view with this. But
it's true.
I think it's a good opener because we have seen it before and recently. Like, it'll still be great, but there's a little less anticipation. So, like, let's ride the excitement of the show just started and watch a dope-ass wrestling match.
I mean, Full Gear is considered one of the cornerstone pay-per-views, right? So I feel like Ospreay is actually a good bet to open because of that.
Unless they announce Takeshita versus Ricochet.
They already have 9 matches booked for that, right?
Well, one's on the 0 hour, so they got 8.
Okay. All right, so they have 8 matches, so they could do that. My guess is that the card is pretty much set. I think Takeshita Ricochet is happening another time.
Maybe it'll happen at Winter is Coming in Kansas City. All right, so after that, you had Bobby Lashley in a squash match against Joey Keys and Cheeseburger
on TV.
Yeah.
Such a good dude.
He's not just a local favorite, he's just a fan favorite. I love that little line.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously Bobby Lashley just beat the shit out of them. To which afterwards, a chain wrap fisted Swerve Strickland came and cleaned house to
Scene of the night. Nothing we haven't already seen in the past. It's lather, rinse, repeat. Fine.
Yeah, every story leading into Saturday. Just have someone beat the other one up. Let's get it.
Yeah.
Except for the next segment. The next segment was not something we had seen totally on TV yet.
With Mina and Mariah May.
Fully together.
They're together, and at Full Gear, there will be finally we'll get the title celebration. Oh, I mean, it's one thing to know that you're pretty, but I think it's the whole, like, I'm not speaking from experience. Like Alex, you might want to ask your wife, but it's like knowing that you're gorgeous. And then knowing that people just fawn over you and both of them know it together is like they're playing chess when all of us are playing checkers. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, this is. I'm trying to think like the best way to articulate it. This is what
you say
people
articulate?
Complain. Yeah, articulate. Great word.
Articulate.
This is what people complain about what women's wrestling used to be done well. Like, they are not just being sexualized. Like, this is just them, and it's great.
Well said.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, this doesn't feel skeezy at all.
No, I mean, I think
it feels natural.
It feels
like it's their idea.
Natural. I mean, yeah, they are definitely using it to their advantage. They like we talked about last week. Jamie's like, they know what they're doing. Talking about all the titty shaking, right?
Yeah.
They know what they're doing, and it's not to like, what's the word? Like posterize themselves or whatever.
Sexualized. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Right. They're they're doing a very good role of this. Now, the question that matters to me more than that is, do you guys legitimately think that we're going to get a Tony Storm sighting at Full Gear?
1000%.
I think all signs point to that. But do you think it will actually happen?
I don't know what this segment does for the pay-per-view otherwise.
Well, I don't know what other direction they could go with that, right? Because it's like the only other thing that would make sense would be to bring somebody in from the outside. There's nobody that have really been rumored or is in the market to like move or jump ship or join AEW. So that's out, right? It has to be somebody already there or coming back that's already on the roster. And the only one that really makes sense, to be frank, is Tony Storm.
Yeah, and I think it's time to bring Tony back. And there's a really fun potential story there where over a shorter program with Tony, Mina basically does to Mariah what Mariah did to Tony. And then maybe by early 2025, then we're getting Mina and Mariah for the title.
February is the Australia show.
Yeah. That would actually be
perfect.
Honestly, that would be a good time to do the three of them in a triple threat.
Yes.
Yeah. Only problem with that is you got an Aussie down there that they're dying to put her over in her home country.
Yeah, but even in her home country, because you don't have to have her involved in it, right? How big of a smart heel move would it be for Mariah to retain the title by pinning her supposed best friend Mina Shirakawa, right? In front of Tony Storm. I'm just saying that's...
Yeah. Like, Tony doesn't have to win. in Australia. We had this discussion last week, I believe.
Yeah. I think every time we talk about the Australia show, yes.
I still think it's good business.
Well,
but that's fine.
I think it's got to be Tony of some sort. I hope she's there in person. It could just be a video or something like that. A phone in is what my other thought is, but I don't see any other direction they would go.
I think she's showing up under a mask.
Ooh,
that's good. I'll go with that. Yeah,
like her whole retirement thing. It very much just seems like the most Tony Storm thing ever would be to show up under a mask, just pretending to be somebody else, even though it's obviously Tony Storm.
Yeah, it's like you're definitely Tony Storm. Absolutely not.
And she could. And you could run that for a while, and she could make that so entertaining.
Oh. Like she could become the faces of Foley, but the faces of Tony.
Yeah,
dude.
Boo! Right there.
Let's make that happen.
Done.
So, gentlemen, before I get into this next match, I just have a question. Were you guys Game of Thrones fans?
I was. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you remember like when they're in Karth and they're talking about the prince that was promised?
Vaguely.
The person who was supposed to end the long night and everything like that.
Yeah.
And then it turns out to be Arya Stark when we thought it was going to be somebody else all along.
Yeah.
Were we all thinking that Darby Allin was the prince that was promised and he just lost clean to Claudio?
Yeah. Those things aren't mutually exclusive.
I never bought into the Darby being the savior, Princess Promise. You know, I've always been real with his position, especially on the top guy position line. He is there to sell t-shirts, legitimately, right? He is never going to be the face of your company, right? He is not that. He never will be that, and that's fine. So, to be fair, I've never bought in that much to that thought, you know, but I get what you're saying. Yes.
So I don't think I am 100% in the camp of Darby's taking that title off Mox. And I don't think him losing to Claudio hurts the chances of that at all. First of all, AEW at least twice a quarter has a random match for a title shot. Like it just happens all the time. Whenever they need it to, it's there. There could be a casino gauntlet or whatever they want to do. But Darby doesn't have to win every match. The thing with Darby is you can't beat him up enough. He's always going to come back. And he didn't have to. I was actually surprised and real glad to see Claudio win this match and just beat him. But again, I don't think it takes away from Darby winning that title down the line. Like he's not going to win every match. He's an underdog. That's why it's going to be a special moment when he wins the title.
So if I'm building a top guy, like this is going to be my guy, I can't, in good conscience, have him lose clean to the main villain's right-hand man, number 2. Like, I just can't. Like, he has to beat him or has to lose in some nefarious way, not clean as a whistle. Like, that's the thing. Like, that's why I'm like, he's not the guy.
You didn't say clean as a whistle. He was thrown from one table halfway across the, announced area onto another table, and
Okay, I got counterpoint though.
So, okay. Just saying.
In the storyline realm universe you have built with this show and this company and all that.
Okay.
Claudio should be Darby's kryptonite. Like very calculated, very technical, also huge, strong, and fast. Like he should beat Darby 10 out of 10 times. Whereas someone like Mox that's just going to try and beat him up, Darby can take an ass whooping all day long and keep coming back. Like I like pro wrestling when there's not just one clear cut, the absolute best of everyone right now. I like when matchups matter. And so to me, this was like, yeah, Claudio got one. Claudio should be able to beat anyone in the company. By the time you get to Darby and Mox, this will not matter at all.
I disagree. I just vehemently disagree.
I mean, Well, you have some preconceived notions as well built in on this, right? There's some prejudices on about Darby Allin that are inherent there. I'm just saying, Jamie.
Erroneous.
Just saying. But the fact of the matter is, Darby Allin doesn't need to win to be a top guy. Period. That's the sentence. That's it.
Yeah.
And I don't believe he's the top guy in the same regard like you have Danielson or Moxley before him, or what your future holds with Ospreay, right? He's not that type of top guy. He's not the big head on the poster guy, right? He'll sell more shirts than most of them, sure, right? He's never going to leave your company. He's going to be loyal as hell. Tell me if this sounds like a familiar song from the past, okay? And that's fine. He'll win a title. He'll win that title at some point. He'll have a somewhat run, right? Maybe it's 2 months, maybe it's 7, right? But he's not going to be going down as the annals as like one of the poster children to define AEW for, as a champion. As a character, sure, right? And he's up there high. But so I don't really, he never needs to win in my book. That's the way I look at it, right? That's not his role. His role is there to win matches. So.
Yeah, to me, this is just like when they put the WWE title on Jeff Hardy. He's never going to be your top guy, but the fans love him, and it's a real good moment and a good story for a little while until some bad guy comes and takes it from him. It's going to be Christian 10 minutes later.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm in on that. I'm in on if Christian takes it. So after that, you had Roddy speak. Well, you had the Rizzler crap. We already talked about that.
Pass.
Yeah.
Big pass.
Then Roddy spoke. Whatever. Again, I'm not looking. I hate to say it, I'm just not looking forward to this match. Yeah. No hype in all the world can get me excited for this.
Yeah.
I mean, the match will be enjoyable.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
I see a goddamn heat seeker.
Oh, it's coming.
His brainbuster at least looks good. What'd you guys think of the whole Jack Perry and Daniel Garcia stuff that's been going on lately? It's a little weird.
It's a little weird. I love the hell of it. I love the hell out of it. Hey. And the reason I love the hell out of it is I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to make Daniel Garcia give him depth, and I think they are. But I think what they're also doing that maybe not as intentional is they're making Jack Perry that much better in my head. Oh, my God. I love Jack Perry. I might fight Anna Jay for Jack Perry. That's how much I love. And I'll lose.
Can we give Anna Jay some flowers real fast? Did you guys watch her match on Collision?
I did, yes. But you're the one starting to give it. Yes. I'm telling you, man. She's getting better. She just needs a better gimmick, and she'll be good. But no, yeah, Austin. Yes, Daniel Garcia for sure, but Jack Perry. That's the rub that's coming out of this. Is Jack Perry is just depth upon. He's like a fucking 20-layer lasagna now, man. It's amazing.
Yeah. So one thing I've noticed AEW seems to have leaned really hard to recently is cinematic style promos.
True.
And I think it's working. And with this, between what happened on Collision, this whole Jack Perry, Daniel Garcia thing, you can tell they're trying something different. And it is kind of weird, but it's good. And I enjoy seeing them just hey, let's try something that you don't see often in pro wrestling. Here's a guy strapping a dude to the hood of his little Jack Perry mobile and speeding down the runway with him, hitting guardrails and shit. It's been great.
Jesus. Okay.
With Matt Menard involved in all this. And they stole a camera for some reason and then just kept shooting because that's what they do.
After that, you did have a quick, well, it should have been way more quick than this, but unfortunately it wasn't. The contract signing between Tomohiro Ishii and Chris Jericho.
Okay. Remember me putting a pen out there earlier? I want to remove that pen. It marked me so hard. The slow chase through the arena.
Okay. Yeah.
Come on. That was fucking great.
Yeah. That was the best Chris Jericho segment in some time. And it was exclusively because of that. Even like, I saw this advertised. I saw him set up with Renee backstage. All leading up into that point, I'm just like, why are we doing this? Like, why are we wasting TV time with this? And then they gave us a silly slow chase, and I was like, all right, you got me for like.
It just been better with the Benny Hill music.
No, the guy in the ring lost all that. Of course, they signed the contract at the beach, whatever, you know. But the slow chase. Yeah. That's it. That's it.
Speaking of slow chase, I think we're gonna have a not so slow chase of Jamie Hayter getting chased by Julia Hart, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Those little videos that Julia Hart's been pumping out there are really great. Like really, really great. I have no negatives.
No. I mean, the whole Archer motif now. I mean, she's learned a lot from working with Malachi and Brody, right? You know, definitely learned a lot about character building and all this stuff. We've given her praise for her in-ring kind of improvement and all this stuff, her character work though, you know. Yeah, I'm for it. I'm for it big time. I'm excited. I became a really big Julia Hart fan when she ascended to the TBS title, the whole House of Black, you know, thing. I think that getting her back would be great for the women's division as a whole. And giving Jamie something to do, right? And she says she has no idea why this is, right? There's no reason for this. Like acknowledging the kind of like Jamie Hayter and Julia Hart. Why? You know? But then again, not everything needs a why. That's why you create it, right? That's the point. You create the why. So I'm loving this. Austin, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. I think you hit the nail on the head with you create the why. We don't know why yet, but they gave us an interesting reason to keep watching and find out why later on. This is really fun booking, and you don't get it all the time. Because who loses here? And there's not necessarily a wrong option or a right option. It's a really fun kind of booking where, like, when they get to the match, you don't know going in who's probably going to win that.
Right. I mean, if you're making me choose, I would say that Julia would lose because her character inherently doesn't necessarily need a win. You know? But if you're pushing Jamie eventually into the title picture, hers does more. So that's the only thing I would say.
Yeah, I mean, it could go
or
either way.
I was about to say, like, Austin, if you went, well, Jamie needs to win. I'm like, mother effer. You literally just said Darby didn't need to beat Claudio. No. Like, I was about to go there.
I think if Jamie loses to Julia Hart, that does put her further away from the AEW women's title. It's different, man.
Different people. It's different people,
it's
Jamie. Different fucking people. Come on, man.
It's Gordman's. It's Gordman's. It's the same thing.
It's Gordman's.
That being said, Jamie Hayter losing to Julia Hart when this match eventually happens and taking a step back from the title and having to work her way back up to it is probably more interesting than just kind of shoving her back in there before too long.
That's not, I mean, there's no really, I don't think you really have, because I mean, we're basing off what they've done so far, right? But I really don't think you have any bad options here, because Julia Hart is probably the best example of them. And it's not all on them. It's a lot on her. It's a lot on people around her as well, right? But taking somebody and really kind of creating that character out of thin air and just stoking that fire as much as possible. So,
Yeah.
No bad options.
Speaking of no bad options, you ended with Orange Cassidy and Wheeler Yuta. Solid little match here.
It was fine.
Yeah. It was all about the after. And I think that was the whole point. It was all about the after, which we were already hook, line, and sinker. We're buying this damn thing anyway. Like, I don't know if I need this little extra. The duct tape was like whatever. Then the weird thing was he got duct tape. Then he got up and he put his hands in his own pockets afterwards. Like, no, you can't make me do it. I want to do it. You know, it was like that type of whole thing.
I think it was supposed to come across as like a defiance, like you can't keep me down kind of thing. But this just kind of like, it fell a little flat, the entire ending.
Yeah.
To me, it would have ended better if they would have just left him in a pile and cut end scene, right? He just left there in a hump, duct taped and alone, because that's the way he wanted to. He kept saying he wants to do this alone, right? So you end your TV show with him alone, going to the pay-per-view, right? That's a better move. Whatever.
But why do I feel like I'm starting to get into the camp just a little bit that Orange is going to win and then Christian's going to cash in?
Nah.
No.
It just feels that way.
Pick that on the pick'em for sure.
I mean, I am the reigning defending champion.
Well, we don't know what the bonus question could be. We could have Christian cash in, yes, no. I mean, that could be. It could not be. We don't know yet, right?
I think we need to set that.
I think we are too early on into this whole Death Riders thing for Mox to already lose.
Right.
But he doesn't need it. But he does.
Mox needs to hang on to that title for a little while.
I agree. The reality is he doesn't need it, right? For this story, he does, right? Did you guys catch the little quip, though, they threw out there when Marino's coming in? Excalibur goes with what we believe is the title in that briefcase. I'm telling you, there's something else in that briefcase. You guys called me crazy. That title belt is not in the briefcase. There's something in there. I don't know what the fuck it is, but I need to know. But there's something non-title belt related in that briefcase. Something importante.
I mean, the most important thing is in that briefcase. The title.
Maybe not. Maybe
then where's
not.
The title been?
I don't know.
He doesn't give a shit about the title.
I feel like
JJ, you have an idea.
Bring that to work.
Screw both of you guys. First of all, I'll win that belt on Saturday. All right. And then I'm going to spend a year and a half, and I'm going to go to wrestling school, and I'm going to kick your ass off, and I'll win that belt.
Wrestling school.
That's where you're wrong. I'm winning that belt on Saturday, and then I'm going to put it in a briefcase and handcuff it to my wife.
Yes.
If you don't do that, this is going to go back to a two-man show. I'm just saying. No.
Actually, that'll save.
Give it a second, Jamie.
Every time I win it, instead of having to ship the belt to Wichita or do a handoff at a show somewhere, I'll just have the wife with the handcuff briefcase gimmick, and then never actually have to have the physical title in my possession.
That's
show business, baby.
This could work.
Yes. Can we get that?
Do you guys know that if there's something other than a belt in that briefcase, I am going to riz so hard on you guys. I am going to explode, okay? I just want to make you aware of that, right? I am fully prepared to be buried like I am almost every other week here, but
almost
if it's not a title belt and there is something else in that briefcase, look the hell out. That's all I got.
I feel like we're going to find out one way or the other on Saturday.
Yeah.
Because like, if it is the title in the briefcase, they're gonna walk down to the ring with the title in the briefcase and open it up.
That's the bonus question. Is the title belt in the briefcase? Yes, no.
Solid one.
You go with that, Jamie?
Yeah.
Good.
Sorry, we have a first time listener just hopped on saying hello. Well, he's a diehard wrestling fan. Well, welcome to the club, sir.
Hello,
we are all diehards.
welcome in. Thank you for joining us on the live chat.
Yes, Jamie, Austin, Beltless JJ.
I don't appreciate that you did half a suck it when you did Austin. You were like,
well, because I'm a full suck it. Like, you know,
it would have been fine if you saw the belt on the other shoulder and it was one of these. Like, I could respect that.
All right, boys. So
sorry.
We
gotta put our belts back on for Beltless JJ.
Okay. All right, we're gonna go muting the other two here for a second, ladies and gentlemen. And he's laughing. He is actually muted right now. He thinks he's not. He doesn't give a shit. He's telling me he doesn't give a shit. But okay, all right. Can we calm down? Oh no, Jamie hasn't calmed down. Now you're just mouthing. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Whatever. Now you're back. Now you're back.
Two
All
poops.
right, so this Saturday, Full Gear, we will have picks going on. We will talk about them next Wednesday. We will start the show with revealing what the results were of the picks. So, card real fast. Jamie, do you have the card in front of you?
I
did a second ago.
I can easily get it back, though.
So, right now, we know of one. Here. Yeah, we know of one pre-show match. YouTube whatever guy.
Yeah. Big Boom AJ versus QT Marshall.
A match I could literally care less about.
You have MJF versus Roderick Strong. You have the tag team 4-way of Private Party, House of Black, the Outrunners, yes, and the Acclaimed. Boo. Actually, I don't like. Swerve Strickland versus Bobby Lashley. You have the Champagne Celebration for one Mariah May with Mina Shirakawa. And Adam Hangman Page leaves as Plants. Jay White, Jack Perry, Daniel Garcia, Mercedes Moné, Chris Statlander, Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher. That is going to be the match of the night. John Moxley versus Orange Cassidy.
There's a lot of singles matches on that show.
It's a lot because they just have the one 4-way and everything else is singles. Not even a triple threat.
Yeah.
There'll be a trios match, at least one on the buy-in.
There was the pay-per-view a few back. Was it All In where every pre-show match was a trios match?
It was All In. It was all pre-shows match. It was all trios except for the Jamie Hayter return.
Where's the rest of the Bang Bang gang?
They're injured, I thought, or weren't they? You just missing the guns.
Hangman took him out.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. I don't think they're actually injured.
One of them's actually injured, I think.
Could be.
I think one of them's actually injured, so they've been written off for now. So
I kind of dig that.
Well, boys, that is wrestling for the week here. So we will have results of the pay-per-view next week, and we'll talk about the pay-per-view as well. It's going to be fantastic. I'm going to win that belt on my birthday. It's going to happen. All right. But before we get to that, there's other movings and shakings and things going on we need to talk about. Fantasy football time, y'all. We are getting closer to the playoffs, closer to it going on here. Everything's kind of coming together, So we got a little separation. So over Stash of Knowledge, Austin and myself, kind of propping ourselves up there. We got a little log jam behind us. On the Mark Stradamus side, everything's getting a little muddled up there, right? As you got 2-way tie for first. Jamie's right behind. And then right behind him, you got Curtis. I mean, there is a lot going on. So let's just.
But if you want to look at overall rankings, I am ranked higher than you, JJ.
Okay, thank you. That matters very little, except for one thing, which we'll talk about in a second here. I do want to look at this past week that was. So we had this week here, I want to give a big shout out to Jamie, because Jamie won a very high scoring. Chase came to play, right? Jamie still pulled it off by 20-some points, but not the highest score. That's going to go to Curtis for demolishing Megan. Look at that. 173 to 120. Yeah, you hate to see it, right?
Hate to see that she still has a better record than you.
By one game. And we all make the playoffs, so whatever, right? She's not in my division as it is. I took my frustration out on Austin Reddick's wife, so there's that.
You won by 10, dude. Come on. Now.
Hey, wins. What are we looking for like fancy wins here? Are we looking for wins? We're looking for wins, Jamie. Wins.
Dominating wins.
Wins are wins, right? Now, you might think to yourself, well, what does it even matter? Well, here's why it matters. Everybody makes the playoffs. First 6 teams get a bye. So you don't want to be on that bottom 4, right? So right now, we got Chase and Big Rob fighting out in the first round. And then we got Curtis and Heidi Howitzer fighting it out in the first round. Overall, number 1 is Mr. Austin Reddick as we speak today. That's today.
Yeah, he is.
Today, right? Now, a lot of these buys you see here are kind of, whatever. Because if you look at if the season were to end right now, you would have Jamie and myself meeting up again for the rubber match, considering he lost and then I lost, right? So we each have 1 win against each other. Rubber match potential. This could change. We don't know. Could go up, could go down. Who knows, right? But it stands right now. That's the way it would be. You'd have Megan and Curtis meeting in the second round here. Would it be a repeat of what just happened this past week? Who knows, right? And then quietly, very quietly, in that number 2 spot, Tommy Too Good. Don't sleep on Tommy Too Good, y'all.
Look at the tag team partners being 1 and 2.
I say we're doing all this talking, and here's Tommy just like skating by, right?
If we meet in the finals, I'm gonna Shawn Michaels, Marty Jannetty.
The plate glass window, beware. So
he jumped through it.
So I believe we have what? So we have 3 weeks left, and then we get into the playoffs. Okay. So this coming week here, I got a rematch against one Miss Megan Faulkner. So this is my chance to take her over. Okay, Curtis and Carlos, the Sea Bowl is going on there. We have the tag team partners going after each other. So
yeah, the ACFC championship game.
I mean, top spot is on the line. Top spot.
It is.
Big Rob, man, you've been making as many moves as Jamie, so you're going up against him again. Here's your chance, man. Get in where you fit in.
And then, my losses, all of them.
He's no sweep. So give him a sweep. Let's see what happens. And then Heidi's going up against Chase, our final match. So it's getting good, guys. Like I said, playoffs are just around the corner. It's been a lot of fun.
See, not only do I have to beat T2G this weekend, I also have to outscore Jamie. So I can stay at number 1 in the total overall points.
Which matters absolutely nothing. It might be a tiebreaker.
Oh, right. It matters to me, damn it.
It matters so much. I'm only down by 10 right now to him. And then plus, if you happen to win, sir, I play Tommy next week. If I could take care of business, then I will lock you up for your divisional title, even though I'm going to face you the week right after that.
You're going down that one for sure.
I'm avenging every single one.
Both my starting receivers are out this week. I'm still going to find a way to keep that streak going. 7 in a row. Started from the bottom, now we're here.
Literally, both of us.
They were. It was a lot of talk to start the season. After the first month, it was a lot of quiet. But now they're back at it. So
look at us
all right.
now.
Well, anyway, so that was fantasy football for those of you who are involved in it. Like I said, it's been a lot of fun. We will see where we go. And like playoffs again, 3 weeks away, but a lot sooner than that. Full gear this weekend, ladies and gentlemen. We will definitely be talking about that. There is still on the schedule, as far as we know it, a CSW show coming up in December. So AEW is going to be here on December 11th. We're going to it, we think. There is, for those of you who aren't in Kansas City, okay, we hope to God that your local arena is not as bad at selling tickets to people who want to buy them as the T-Mobile Center is. Because my God, it is crazy. Anyway, but that's on the 11th of December. On the 14th, so far they've only had a single save the date announcement, but CSW is supposed to be having a big return show. There's new ownership. That's all we can say. But their big return show is supposed to be on December the 14th. We haven't heard anything since then. We are going to do our due diligence this week and try and get some more information for you guys, just to confirm some stuff, because definitely, that's the only show planned for the rest of the year. Fountain City hasn't announced
in the Kansas City neck of the woods, but out in Denver, up in the mountains, this Wednesday night, the annual Triple L pre-Thanksgiving extravaganza. If you are anywhere near the Denver area, head on out to the Oriental Theater next Wednesday night. It will be one of the funnest wrestling nights of your year, guaranteed.
It is their WrestleMania.
Oh, it is.
It really is. Well, there's the anniversary show is kind of like the Triple L WrestleMania.
Touche. Yeah,
but this would be like the SummerSlam, but the Winter SummerSlam. That's what they should call it next year, is Winter SummerSlam 2025.
You need to tell him that when you're there. All right.
I'll tell Gossert. That's a better long running Triple L thing, because there's just a completely random name for every show. This one's called Blackout for Local TV.
All right.
That's great. So when's the next HCW show?
December 7th here in Wichita, and then December 14th in Leavenworth.
Oh, so there's okay. So it is a show on the 14th. Maybe that's why we haven't heard anything from Central States. Who knows?
Yeah,
but
we'll have to find out what's going on with that.
But there is stuff going on here, at least. I know a lot of the other promotions, have gone a little hiatus here for the holidays, which totally acceptable. Like Fountain City, we don't have a new announcement for when they're going to come back. Anarchy is going to be running more shows here in Kansas City as well, but no announcement specifically about when that's going to be.
Not in Kansas.
What do you mean?
You didn't hear about that?
No, what did I miss?
Oh, Jesus. So, Kansas... All right, so...
Or Guitars and Cadillacs.
Yeah, whatever. Guitars and Cadillacs totally screwed Anarchy and Fountain City.
Really?
From what I understand. They had like a handshake deal, like, hey, we're going to run, we're going to get on Sundays, whatever, like it's going to be great, right? Well... They weren't returning any types of phone calls, nothing. They weren't doing anything. And next thing you know, on Instagram, somebody saw that, hey, coming soon, a promotion at Guitars and Cadillacs. Sounds like they might be starting their own promotion, or somebody's like weaseled their way in there.
Oh, no, someone weaseled their way in. That promotion is associated with James Ellsworth.
Oh, so you know more.
What?
Yeah,
wow.
I caught some bits and pieces, but yeah.
Yeah, so no Guitars and Cadillacs.
Wow. Well, that's shitty. Okay. Well, a note to end it on, ladies and gentlemen. Okay.
Tragic news for local Kansas City wrestling.
The grass is always greener. That was a a fantastic spot to go watch wrestling. And even the Journey to Anarchy show that they had, it's great nostalgia. That's not the only spot that we've had good wrestling experiences in Kansas City. There are others. There are other locations. Good times will be had. Anyway, okay. Well, I'm just going to end it there. We don't know. that's a weird way to end it, but fuck it. Who cares, right? Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. Welcome to everybody who's first time here. We appreciate you guys hopping in, joining us. We do this every Wednesday, roughly a half hour-ish after Dynamite is over. So please join us every Wednesday. If you can't make it live, definitely watch the replay. We are also streaming audio versions on the Spotify and all other podcast channels. Just look for Total Spotfest. Find us on them internets at Total Spotfest on both X and Blue Sky. And if this is your first time here, we highly recommend and we definitely would appreciate hitting that subscribe button. Give us a big thumbs up. It helps out quite a bit. We'll be back here next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Jamie, take us home, man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not down Total Spotfest, I got 4 words for you. Look at that. Happy birthday, Beltless JJ.
Well, thank you. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.
Later.